I'm Group Editor Z News, which is one of the second largest media conglomerate in India. Before I get into my speech, I would like to congratulate the scintillating performance which was here before me, thanks to Navrachana. I am in the business of giving information, making, for creating opinions and letting students, my most important stakeholders, students and the parents, to make informed decisions about careers and education. But when I saw that, I can assure you that when parents and people, students come to us, it's nothing different from what they have staged here. Before I go into my speech, I would like to tell you that there is a silver lining. The curriculums are not rigid anymore. I mean, things are not changing radically, but universities like BITS Pilani, Hyderabad, an engineering student today can read Shakespeare, can do theatre, and these are the electives. They are not rigidly tied to civil, mechanical and those kind of things. Then there is Deen Dayal University. Then IGNOU has it on the internet. You can register for 35 courses and you don't need to have information, any prior information about that particular course. So, if I am a nuclear engineer, say, I'm not, but if I'm a nuclear engineer and if I want to study classical music, I don't need to have prior knowledge of that particular subject. I can enroll. So age no bar, knowledge no. So there is a silver lining and we have hope. The topic is very wide. It is skill development, education. Like Lakshmi ji rightly put it, skill development, educations are not different. But unfortunately in our country, what we have done is skills have never been mainstreamed. Skills have never been mainstreamed in the education, you see. So that mindset is still there, and I would like to only concentrate on skill development, because having been a trustee of an organization which has trained 65,000 people in the last 16 years of its existence, right from courses like nursing, which is recognized by the Indian Nursing Council, to the HRD ministry courses, and it's a vast experience, to know what are these things, what is skill development is. I have some statistics for you. Being a journalist, for me, I have to really go inside to find out what is it. And since, like Ajay ji said, we are not taught any memory, we are not given any memory tools. I don't remember the statistics, so I have written it down for you. See, skill development is an integral part of any country's education system, okay? And it impacts the country's economy directly. So in order to sustain a growing economy, it is mandatory that we should have a skilled workforce. But India is falling short, and how? A survey done a couple of years ago, and I was shocked, and I'm sure you will be shocked too. The net enrollment in vocational courses in India is 5.5 million per year, compared to 90 million in China. Can you beat that? 90 million in China, and USA also is 12 million. And the survey further says that only 2% of our workers are skilled. Only 2%. Lakshmi ji mentioned 500 millions to be skilled. But by 2022, we will have an incremental shortfall of nearly 350 million people in 20 high growth areas of Indian economy, and these are the main sectors are the infrastructure sector, where we will have a shortfall of 103 million. Then we will have in auto components 35 million, building and construction 33 million, textile and clothing 20. This is a shortfall that we will have in 2022. Even in the unorganized sector, there will be where we have domestic, maids, security guards, etc. We will have a shortfall of 38 million in the next 10 years. The 500 million target was set only to bridge this gap, and we have 17 ministries of the central government pumping money into this skill. Because their collective target is 350 million. Is this going to solve the problems? Won't there be any challenges? There will be multitude of challenges, because lack of training capacity is a major hurdle. You know, in India, every year, about 13 million people join the country's workforce. And the country's annual training capacity is not even 50%. Not even 50%. So the first major challenge is to enhance the number of skilled persons in the workforce. You see, we are talking about the demographic dividend because 65% of our population will be in the bracket of 15 to 59, which is the working population. What do you do with them? If you harness this, like she said, harness this population, you know, this can catapult India into the ranks of the developed nation very easily. But do we have the wherewithal to do it? What are the other issues? Scalability. We see that now the company's bill has come into the 2013 on CSR, that 2% money which is to be put in skill development, etc., or a project of their choice. So, many corporates have been, you know, into skill developments. We are working with many of them, but these are into pockets. There is no scale. There is no scale. So, how do we meet up with these challenges of, you know, training so many people? Secondly, finance. There is money, there is lot of money, but the numbers are overwhelming. They are really overwhelming. So how do you meet up with that challenge also? The third thing is people are not ready to, this is a very important point because we all should think about it. See, people are not ready to go into skill training because of remuneration. Now, we are training people in, say, Konkan area in eastern UP. We are training them in, say, Mofussil areas of Bombay like Kalyan, Bombay, and we expect them to come and stay in Bombay at 6,000 rupees a month. Is that possible? That's not possible. So where will they find? Then why won't the slums proliferate? Because where else will they take? So people are getting trained free, but they are not ready to take up these jobs. I can tell you one live example. I won't name the company because it is shocking. They trained 200 people in sales, free of charge. They gave jobs, appointment letters. Only 50% of them accepted the appointment letter. And on the day of joining, only one person joined. Only one person joined. And that person too left after 2 months. So what is the skill we are talking about? So what is going wrong? Negative perception. Negative perception is that, as I was talking to somebody, people feel, like tomorrow if someone says, will you make your son a plumber? Will I make my son a plumber? I won't. Frankly, I'm telling you. And why I won't? Because we always see that there is no dignity attached, because we have never thought in those terms that we have to attach dignity to these things, you know. When, through my organizations, just to give that value to that certificate of 3 months, you know, what we used to do is we used to hold these convocation ceremonies. We would invite vice chancellors of universities, you know, using our contacts. The girls and the boys would wear that black robe, black cap, and we would give some band piche, and they would come marching on the stage and take that certificate. The parents would be there. That was a moment of recognition for them. You know, that piece of paper that has been given to them has some value. That was the message that we wanted to give. So I think we need to, while streaming education, we need to have these kind of events, you know, to kind of give dignity to that, you know. Another thing that we did was, we invited companies. So we invited some companies to come to with us to schools, because our target was school children. What we did was, we had 15 to 20 road shows, you know, companies like Godrej and, you know, who are into skill development. So they were directly addressing the students 10th standard, 12th standard, because at this levels the dropout rate is pretty high. So what they would do is, they would tell the students directly, if you think that if you have a degree and you approach us for a job, we respect your degree, but you will not get a job. But if you are a plumber, a fitter, a turner, a welder, and you have done a good course, then our doors are open to you. That was a face-to-face conversation with the students, you know, so that students got the message that, look, these certificates are also equally important. What's going to be the road ahead? We have spoken enough of the challenges. What's going to be the road ahead? Capacity building in sectors where demand is most. I would request the industry to skill all the skilling institutions to ensure that they build capacity in sectors where demand is the most, thereby minimizing the risk of skilling people who can't find gainful employment. A better model is when you have jobs. See, we have these many jobs and we would like to, skill these many people. So that could be another way. It's a better model. Then you skill them first, mobilize them, and then hold job fairs. That doesn't work. Job fairs में किसी को भी नौकरी नहीं मिलती है. Encourage self-employment, which is what the National Skills Development Corporation is doing. Entrepreneurship. When the economy is down and when the number of jobs going in the country are evenly low, this is where entrepreneurship can be encouraged. There are specific skills like food or fruit processing, then making artifacts, agriculture, etc. These are the kind of skills which can have entrepreneurial vision. Like for instance, when I went to Kanpur and Lucknow for my official work, I found that there is a lot of demand for mobile repairers. And these mobile repairers, once you give them the module and train them up, they can even become entrepreneurs, and people have become entrepreneurs. Another example I can give you is how this entrepreneurial spirit comes out. Is one of the persons that we have trained, in painting. He was in Pune. So he used to get some 6,000-7,000 rupees a month. But then he decided, I want to start on my own. And today he is himself employing 20 people. It's the spirit. It's the mindset. If that is in your mind, that's in your spirit, that look, I'm going to do this, then it happens. What we require is a little push, a little backing. Like, I forgot your name. Suchitra. Like Suchitra she was telling about her dialogue with her son. How subtly, nicely she is bringing up her son with values. Similar dialogues the industry could do, because these are almost like children. Another important point is the use of technology. I understand very little of technology, okay? But this is very interesting, and I did a lot of research for you guys, because I thought if I have to speak here, then, might as well talk of something of value. Many companies are using IT to make available the best teachers to a variety of students. They are using digital content, You must have heard about this Value the Welder. It is a state-of-the-art, low-cost education model for doing welding training. You see? And NSTC and partners are also, have you heard about the massive open online courses, MOOCs, which are now becoming the norm more than an exception? So they are giving skill education on the IT platforms now. You see, like what Amrita University is doing. They have all these haptic devices, they have simulators. So if I want to become a plumber, then that haptic device will show me everything, how to, whatever are those technicalities, you see. Then I only need my teacher as a facilitator. So I don't need to go and locate, teacher one, nutrition one, this, or because locating teachers in skill area is also a huge problem, Community college, which community colleges, which the government is talking about now, is an alternative. In these colleges, apart from regular education, you get skill education. When you are doing your skill education, at any point of time you want to stop, you want to get into the mainstream education, you are allowed to get into. So they are working on that whole procedure, I have a few suggestions for the industry also. See, one, most vocational courses are not, unless somebody pays for it, they are not inexpensive. And we do not have any banks which are giving loans for that, and there's a whole rigmarole of collaterals and other legalities. Okay, so we want more and more financial players come into the skill arena, because banks, some nationalized bank have some schemes, star scheme, this scheme, you know, but treating them like, how do you have education loans? So treating them on par with education loans. Give them loans for skill. Whatever are the procedural things could be done, you know. So that is one suggestion. Then industry should endeavor to evolve a skill culture. You hire skilled people. Don't hire people who have no skills. Because if you hire skilled people and give them the correct wherewithal, that is the correct salaries, to take up the challenges of life, automatically the next lot of people you will get will be the people who will be of quality, because no industry can function without quality people, you know. And the last is, you have to build prestige aspirations into skilling. You have to, I mean, this was a suggestion. What is a prestige aspiration? So if I want to become a, say, beautician or even mehendi wali or whatever, what is my career trajectory? So if I'm an MBA, I have a career trajectory. So create films on career trajectories and play them, you know, before your the stakeholders, because these are the people who will take up your career. Only maybe they might get attracted to your career by looking at your career trajectory. Okay, today I am a trainee beautician, tomorrow I can become this, day after tomorrow I can become this, and then at the end of it, this will be my salary. You see, so that kind of a career trajectory, playing the entire gamut of experience a plumber or an electrician or a beautician has, or anybody, motor driver, koi bhi, that will help them to understand what this career is all about, you know. And thirdly, and most important, when you have this prestige, how? We have to, there are inspirational heroes who have, like I met a bartender who had failed in his 10th standard, but today he is in the Guinness Book of Records. Bartending was looked down upon earlier in India, but today that same person, he mastered the art and he is in Guinness Book of Records. You know, his chest swells with pride when he tells his story that I was a failure and today I became this. These inspirational stories need to be shared with the masses so that they know that everybody can't become a bartender, but these are ordinary people who have done extraordinary things. We also can become, that message goes, no? One of our vendors has been given a job in Alaska. So 2.5 lakhs per month. Somebody was not in, because we always thought that welder is a roadside welder. We never thought that a welder could also work in a Mercedes-Benz in Mercedes-Benz organization, or he can even go to NASA. We never thought about this, you know. So he came back to me saying, "Madam, आपका course लिया था मैंने." I said, "बहुत अच्छा किया, क्या हुआ?" "Madam, मैं अलास्का में हूँ अभी, कितना पगार है?" 2.5 lakhs. So more than him, I was feeling great, you know, that this welder is today, and see, finally it is about how much you earn, and so everybody is giving him respect and those kind of things, you know. So these kind of stories should be shared with people. I don't think I should take much of your time. I think I've given you enough on skills, etc. I would definitely want to do whatever I can do in this regard, in my professional capacity, in my non-profit capacity. I'm willing to, you know, it will be a pleasure to, you know, work with FGI in any capacity. Thank you so much for inviting me.